Vehicular manslaughter is when you are the driver of a vehicle and you are negligent, and that negligence causes somebody to die. And negligence means that you're driving the car and you do not act with ordinary care or caution, or you violate some law of the road. So the prosecution in a vehicular manslaughter case has to prove two different things. They have to prove that your driving or your conduct while you were driving was negligent. It wasn't the ordinary standard of care that a driver would have, and that led to a person's death as a result of what you did. The penalties for a vehicular manslaughter with gross negligence, that's the example where you are clearly not following the rules of the road, not paying attention, you're driving very carelessly. That is a felony that's punishable by prison. The low term is 4 and the high term is 10 years for that. Or you could be granted probation. So if the judge finds that it's an especially serious case, they can give you the maximum of 10 years. If they are going to give you prison, the lowest they can give you is 4 years. Now that's a wide difference from the penalty for vehicular manslaughter with ordinary negligence. That charge is punishable by a maximum of 4 years if it's filed as a felony, or a minimum of 16 months or probation as a felony. But like we said before, that could be filed as a misdemeanor. And as a misdemeanor, the maximum that you would serve for that is 1 year in jail. So the penalties vary greatly depending on whether the prosecutor can show that you acted with gross negligence or just ordinary negligence, and then whether they choose to file the charge as a felony or as a misdemeanor. So the most important thing when we're talking about vehicular manslaughter is who was at fault in a crash and what level of carelessness was being displayed. Was the person not following the rules of the road? Did they come too close to the other person? Was it my client's fault? Then we have to look at, well, was it exactly because of this crash that the person died, or were there other issues involved? Those are the things that the prosecutor has to prove. Even if they have a strong case, even if they're able to prove the charge, we also want to look at what we call equities, which means what's our client's background? What kinds of things can we bring into this case to show that a fair punishment will be something lesser, not jail time or a felony charge, but maybe a misdemeanor charge? Because after all, we're talking about a charge where a person can commit it simply by being careless. They don't have to have bad criminal intent or bad motive. This could just be a car accident that unfortunately went wrong and somebody died. And that doesn't necessarily mean that the person who was involved in the accident should be stigmatized or punished with a criminal conviction, because these types of things happen. Unfortunately, accidents do happen on the road, and sometimes, sadly, people die. So even if it's a situation where maybe our client made a mistake, we still want to talk to the district attorney and the judge and present his side of the story or her side of the story, his background, and why a fair punishment would be a lesser type of a punishment, no jail or no felony conviction.